Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? Hope everyone is doing great. If you are new here, you're highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. You may consider subscribing and also click on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be notified. So today I'm going to show you how to cut and sew a bishop collar that sits so well on the neck without gaping. So I have here this fabric I'm going to be using, and I'm making a fitted short gown with a long sleeve and of course a bishop collar. So I've gone ahead to cut out my fabric. As you can see, the front is I cut it using a shoulder princess dart pattern. Can you see? So this is the front. So this is the front. Can you see? I've not cut out the neckline yet. And this is the back. Is a normal basic pattern that I use for the back, and I've not cut out the neck as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the neckline for the front. And the neckline for the front, the measurements is going to be 3 inches by 3 inches depth for the front, remember. So the front of the gown is going to have zipper. So if you look at this fabric, you can see the zipper line. So I'm going to mark 3 inches by 3 inches away from the zipper line for my front neckline. Okay. So for the back, the neckline for the back is 3 inches by 1 inch depth. So I'll go ahead and cut it out now. So I'm done doing that. The next thing I'm going to do is to go and couple the gown, and I'll come back and show you how to cut out the bishop collar. So I'm done coupling the gown, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to measure the neckline. And when I'm taking the measurement, I'll make sure that my zipper allowance is inside, is folded inside. Can you see? This is the zipper allowance. Can you see? So I'll go ahead and take my measurements. I have 19 inches. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut the bishop collar. So to cut this bishop collar, I'll be cutting on bias. I have two fabric folded into two. This is one, this is two. This one is going to serve as a facing, and this one is going to serve as the main bishop collar. Okay. So to cut this, I'm cutting on bias. I will use the method of cutting flame. So for you to cut a full flame, to get your radius, you divide 6.28 by your circumference, okay? But because I'm cutting a half flame, I'm going to use 3 inches. Hope you're not confused. If you're cutting a full flame, use 6.28. When you approximate that 6.28, you should have 6 inches. When you're cutting a half flame, you use 3 inches. That is the half of 6 is 3. Okay, so I'll be using 3 inches to get my radius. So when I divide 19 inches, that's my neckline, by 3, I should have 6.3. 6.3. So when instead of using 6.3, I'm going to do 6.5. I'll be measuring 6.5 because I need allowance. The I need a seam allowance to close up the collar. Okay, so when I use 6.5, I should have enough length for my seam allowance. Hope you understand that part. So from this point, I'll be marking my 6.5 inches. So this is it. Can you see? I'm using my biro because the chalk is not showing well. So I'll cut on that line so that it won't appear on the fabric. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to mark the height of the collar. The height of the collar I'm working with is 1.5 inches. Okay, so I need I need one quarter. I need the height of the collar I'm working with is 1.5 inches. So I need for the upper part, I need quarter inch to close up the upper part, and I need half inch to close the lower parts. Hope you understand that. Let me repeat myself again. I said that the height of the collar I am working with is 1.5. I need quarter inch to close the upper part, and I need half inch to close the lower part. So altogether, I will be measuring a 2 1/4 as the height of the collar. So I'll mark 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 2 1/4. So I'll go ahead and cut out my collar. Okay, so let me go ahead and measure the lower part and see if it will match up with my neckline measurements. I have 10.5 here. Remember that the neckline measurement is 19 inches and this is on fold. So when I open up, I should have a 21 inches. So it's more than enough for both the neckline and the seam allowance. Okay. So for this collar, I won't be ironing any interfacing on it because both the collar and the neckline is stretchy. Okay, so but if you're working with a non-stretchy fabric, please go ahead and iron an interfacing on your collar. Okay, so we'll go over to the machine. So I will show you how to close and sew your collar. So I'm going to remove the pin now and open up my collar this way. Can you see? So the first thing I'm going to do now is to sew the end here. Okay, so before I start sewing, I'll go up by half inch and I'll sew by half inch, and when I get to this top part, I'll sew by quarter inch. Remember, the allowance we left for the upper part is a quarter inch, and the 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 allowance we left for this lower part is half inch. So for this part, I'm supposed to curve this side, the upper part, but I choose to leave it like that. You can go ahead and curve yours before sewing. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go and give it a good press before I continue. I'll iron this upper part so it will relax well. Okay, before I continue. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fold the collar into two, get the midpoint and notch the midpoint. So this is the midpoint. I'll notch it very small. So this is it. I also get the midpoint of my neckline. This is the midpoint. So what I'm going to do is to take the facing of the collar, giving the main collar. This is the facing. This is the part I'm using as the facing. So I'm going to position it this way. This is the midpoint of my neckline. I will take the facing this way and pin it together with the midpoint of my neckline. I'll hold it down with the pin. Can you see? And from inside, folding in my zipper allowance, remember. So from inside, I'll sew by 0.5. Remember that we left 0.5 to close up the down part of the collar. So this is it. Can you see? The main, the facing of the collar and the neckline first, leaving the main collar. So I'll sew by 0.5. Please, when you are sewing, if you are working with a stretchy fabric, try not to stretch it, so that by the time you finish fixing your collar, your neckline will not be too wide. Okay. You can see. So this is from inside. You can see the facing. Can you see? Looking very neat. Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do now is to close up the main collar. I'll use the main collar to cover this rough edges you're seeing. Can you see? So what I'm going to do now is to fold in 0.5, the allowance I left, and use it to cover this way. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll top stitch on it. Can you see? I'll push in 0.5 seam allowance inside and I'll top stitch. So at the end of the day, this is what it will look like when I'm done sewing. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Finish top stitching it. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? And this is the back. Can you see? So I'll go and give it a good press. So this is the finished look. Can you see how the bishop collar is sitting properly on the mannequin neck? Can you see? So this is the full length of the gown. Can you see? So thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.